Moving home doesn't always mean starting your mortgage from scratch. If your current deal works for you, then you might be able to take it with you. It's something called porting. And in this episode, we're going to explore how that works, who can do it, and when it's a smart move. Simon, for somebody who's never heard of porting, can you just try and explain it in simple terms?
Yeah, absolutely. So in simple terms, it's taking your existing mortgage deal with you onto your new property, which can be advantageous if, it's a fixed rate. You don't have to wait till your fixed rate to end in order to move home.
So when does it make sense, and perhaps when doesn't it make sense to take it with you?
If you're happy with your existing rate and that's working for you, and you don't want to pay early repayment charges to exit that rate, that can be really helpful to do. When it doesn't work, perhaps if interest rates have changed, you may wish to consider remortgaging.
Yeah. In which case you're going to have to think about, is there early repayment charge on your existing mortgage and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So customers typically take out a product for 2, 5 or longer years, and sometimes there'll be an early repayment charge tapering away to get out of that deal early.
What would you think people should know if they're reapplying with the same lender? What should they be thinking about?
So if you're reapplying with your same lender, you still will need to think about affordability, particularly if you're borrowing more, and even if you're porting the product to the new mortgage. So subject to the lender's criteria, that should be something simple to do.
And any timing traps and things like that to watch out for?
Yeah, I'd always be thoughtful of how long is left on the product, so how long is left on the existing fixed rate, and then also clearly how long the purchase takes. So for example, the mortgage offer, if it takes long, could be getting towards expiry. So it's really important to talk to the lender as early as you can.
Because you don't know how long it's going to take you to buy the next house.
Absolutely.
You could get in a chain that could take 6-9 months.
Absolutely, in which time, you could be edging closer to the end of the product.
Yes.
So even after the mortgage offer, it's important to stay in touch with the lender.
Sure. How flexible do lenders tend to be? If you're moving to a more expensive house, so you want to stay with your lender, you want to port the mortgage, but you actually need to borrow more money.
Yeah, absolutely. So we recognise first-time buyers often are moving up, and typically that involves an increase in the mortgage amount. So taking the product with you is relatively straightforward. In addition to that, if you're borrowing more, you'll effectively have 2 interest rates or more on the mortgage, the one that you're porting and the new one that you choose to cover the additional amount that you're borrowing.
So there could be a separate interest rate, but it's not a brand new mortgage. So you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of applying again, do you?
So you will need to apply again. So it's a new application because it's a new security, but you are porting the existing product with you. And you're right, Phil, you will have 2 elements now to the new mortgage. You'll have the part you are porting, and then the new interest rate that you choose for the additional amount.
I understand. But because you're staying with your same lender, there's an existing relationship. They know you. They've got all the information they need about you already.
Yeah, absolutely. Albeit it's still subject to affordability and lending policy, but you're absolutely right. We know the customer, we know the circumstances, so that process can be simpler.
Yeah. Any particular tips to make sure that process is smooth?
I would, as always, make sure that you talk to your lender early, a couple of months before you're planning the move. Be really thoughtful about how long is left on the product. And most importantly, does that product work for you?
Yeah.
A lot can change in the industry, in interest rate environment, and for personal circumstances, and whether you really want to pay an early repayment charge.
So as long as you kind of got your ducks in a row, you approach things in good time, it's a relatively straightforward process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, timing is important.
Yeah.
And obviously what's happening around you is really important, but it is a straightforward process. And at Skipton, we can handhold you through that.
And when does porting actually make sense? And also, when doesn't it make sense?
It makes sense when you're really happy with your current deal and you want to take that deal with you to your new property, and you don't want to pay early repayment charges, which may be applicable by leaving it behind. If there are better deals available, it would be prudent to look at the market. And at Skipton, we think it's really important to guide and handhold you through that journey, and so you can make the choice that's right for you.
Okay. Have you any got a particular tip just to finish off with to make it a smooth process?
I think talk to your lender early and ensure that they're clear on your intent to port the product. They'll be able to guide you through timings that are helpful. And timings are important, particularly given the time that's left on your fixed rate and the time it takes to get into your new property. So I think timing is key.
Yeah, because the timing, if you get involved in a chain, you've no idea how long it's going to take. And it could take 6 months, it could take a year, in which case your mortgage situation will have all changed.
Absolutely. The existing deal may actually have expired by the time the mortgage offer is ready for you to move. So I think, that doesn't mean you can't come back and we can rearrange the offer for you. I'm
just thinking through steps. So if it takes a year because you're involved in a chain and your existing mortgage has expired, what then happens? You go on to the lender's rate or something?
No, so you would need a revised mortgage offer with a product that is now applicable because the existing product may have expired.
Yeah.
So you would then choose from the new range or take advice from a broker, a mortgage advisor around the new range.
And then when you actually complete on your sale and your purchase, then you go again?
Absolutely. So when you complete, you are choosing the product that is most appropriate for your needs at that time.
Yeah. So great to know that you can take your mortgage with you if you're happy with it, and indeed you can also borrow more money on the way through. Key piece of advice though is talk to your lender nice and early. You could lose your home if you don't keep up your mortgage repayments.